You know, when you use an app like Venmo or Robinhood, it just feels like magic, right? You connect your bank account one time and boom, everything just works. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and take a look at the hidden gears that make all that magic happen.
I mean, seriously, have you ever actually stopped to think about that? You tap a button in one app and somehow it knows exactly what's in your bank account, a totally different company, all in just a couple of seconds? How in the world is that even possible?
Well, the answer isn't some secret handshake between your bank and Venmo. Nope. It's actually a super powerful and kind of invisible middleman that connects thousands of financial apps to tens of thousands of banks.
Yeah, you could almost say there's a kind of ghost inside your financial apps. It's this silent partner that's always working in the background, just making sure everything can talk to each other smoothly.
In fact, it's been called the most important company in your phone that you've probably never heard of. Think about that. It's a critical piece of the modern financial world, but most of us don't even know its name.
So how does this ghost actually do its job? Well, imagine you're traveling in a country where you don't speak the language. What do you need? A translator, right? It's the same idea in the digital world, and that translator has a specific name.
It's called an API. And yeah, I know that sounds super technical, but stick with me here. An API is really just a set of rules. It's like a shared language that lets two completely different pieces of software talk to each other safely and efficiently. It's basically the universal translator for apps.
Okay, so here's how it works in 4 really simple steps. First, your app, let's say Venmo, asks for some data, like your bank balance. The API then translates that request into a language the bank understands. Third, the bank sends back the info. And finally, the API translates that response back into a language Venmo understands. All of this happens in the blink of an eye. It's wild.
So who built this amazing universal translator for finance? Well, if the whole financial world is like a giant complex machine, this company is the gearbox. It's the thing that connects all the different parts so they can turn together perfectly.
The company's name? It's Plaid, plain and simple. They're the ones who built the master API, that universal translator for pretty much the entire world of finance.
And who uses this thing? Oh, just about everyone you can think of. Venmo for sending money, Robinhood for stocks, Coinbase for crypto, Betterment for savings. The list goes on and on. We're talking thousands and thousands of the apps you probably already have on your phone, all powered by Plaid's tech.
Okay, but wait a minute. If you're not paying for this service, who is? That is the billion-dollar question, right? And it turns out Plaid's business model is just as clever as its technology. As a user, you never, ever see a bill from Plaid. That's because you're not the customer. Plaid's customers are the apps themselves, all those Venmos and Robinhoods of the world.
And they pay Plaid in 3 main ways. First, when you link your bank to a new app for the very first time, that app pays Plaid a one-time fee. Then, every time that app needs to do something, like check your balance before a transaction, it pays another tiny fee. And for apps that need constant access to your data, like a budgeting tool, they just pay Plaid a regular subscription fee. Pretty smart, huh?
But look, this is so much bigger than just one company. What Plaid's technology represents is a fundamental shift in how we all control our own financial information. It's all about unlocking our money from the old, rigid system.
This whole powerful idea, the idea that your financial data should be able to move freely and securely wherever you want it to go, actually has a name. It's called open banking.
Think of it this way. For decades, your financial data was basically locked inside your bank's vault. Sure, you could peek at it, but you couldn't really use it anywhere else. Open banking comes along and unlocks that vault, finally putting you in the driver's seat and letting your data flow to whatever services you choose to use.
So what does all this really mean for you and me? Well, for one, it forces banks to compete way harder for our business. It also fuels a ton of innovation, which means we get cooler, more useful financial apps. But the most important thing, it gives you more control, real ownership over your own financial life. And all of this leaves us with a really crucial question for the future. In this new world of open banking, who should really get the final say over your financial data? Should it be the banks, the apps, or should it be you? Companies like Plaid have built the tools for this revolution, but now it's up to all of us to decide how they get used.
Subscribe and like. You may share too. Top our next video to learn more.